Hey everyone, welcome to the Mental Playbook with Christine Dalgity. We're here to chat about all things mental health, share some awesome stories, educate, and advocate to break stigmas and gain power through knowledge for all ages and walks of life, and give you the tools you need to boost your mental game. So grab a coffee, get comfy, tune in, get inspired, and let's dive into some fascinating conversations. Remember, your mind is super powerful, and with the right tools and knowledge, you can master your mental playbook. And while you're doing that, take care of you. Hey everyone, Christine here. Welcome back to the Mental Playbook with Christine Dalgity. Today we're going to mix things up a little bit. I'm not sure what's going to happen today, which is kind of fun. We're going to do a Q&A with Lily. She's going to fire some questions at me, and like I said, I have no idea what they are. But hopefully I can answer them. And yeah, just going to have some fun today. Mix it up. All right, Lily, here we go.
All right. So I decided to try and put like different segments.
Okay.
So just to add categories. We'll see how they work. And of course I made it more a little bit sporty like.
Because I like sports.
Exactly.
I'm a bit of a sporty girl. Well, watching now, I'm too old to play. Which isn't true. My uncle's 70-something and just finished playing broom ball. So,
I have?
Yeah, it's kind of in our family.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, the segment 1 is going to be the warm-up.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, a little bit of just easy questions to ask.
Okay.
All right. So, what are 2 to 3 things that make you smile on a day-to-day?
Oh, about me.
Yeah.
Number one thing that makes me smile are my grandchildren. Mm-hmm. They are part of my self-care. Whether I'm playing with them, thinking about them, their picture comes up on my computer and I just get a big smile. And of course, their father. Sorry, Ryan. Once you become a parent, you'll learn very soon that you walk in the door and it's like parents are looking for the kid. You don't matter so much anymore. The next thing that makes me smile, I think I should just lump this all into one thing, is the people around me, like my tribe, my friends. My girls have been my girls my whole life since I was like 5. So they will send me a random text and it doesn't matter what's happening. I will smile or I'll laugh, or thinking about things we did or being with them, obviously, but from day to day, thinking about them and my family and my staff. My staff were like a little family too. So that makes me smile. And the other thing that makes me smile day to day is just what I do. Clients make me smile every day. The way I do my practice is, hopefully this isn't another question that I'm going to answer now, but is really laid back. I can do clinical, don't like clinical. I'm professional, but we joke sometimes too, appropriately, obviously, but working with the people that I work with in the office and my clients make me smile every day. Did I say my family too? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay. Because you guys make me smile too.
Yeah.
My nieces, my sister, my brothers, my cousins. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, next question. What's one thing you've added to your mental health toolkit recently?
Recently?
Yeah.
I'm working out again.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I feel great. Obviously, my age and everything, and how a woman's body changes. I wasn't doing things the right way, and I was getting really frustrated. But I did a lot of research, and so now I am working out in a way that's good for my body and less stress on my body, and feel really good. And eating, making sure I get all the macros in and everything. Yeah, I either walk or I do strength training 3 times a week now, and I walk the other days. So feel really good. So that's something that is helping my mental health as well. I did work out, but I am like very consistent with now.
Yeah, you're making like an effort to add it to your...
Absolutely. Like even like this morning, I was like, oh, it's Friday morning and I don't really want to. I was like, no, get down there and do your 30 minutes. Just because it's my walk day. So I walk for about 30 minutes, get my heart rate up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you add physical activity or working out or strength training for the purpose of enhancing your mental health, or is it for other reasons?
I think both. Because I think it goes hand in hand, right? And when you get older, your body changes in ways that it's like, and I talk about like clients my age, friends, my sister, and it's like, what is happening? Like, what is happening to my body right now? Because now there's more talk about perimenopause and stuff, but there wasn't for, and things that you kind of feel like your body's betraying you in perimenopause. And so, yes, I was gaining weight and I was like, okay, Christine, you need to, so that's kind of why I started. But also it's good for your mental health. And when you're gaining weight and perimenopause, it affects your mental health. So, I mean, that's why I think it goes hand in hand. Honestly, did I start doing it for my mental health completely? No, I did it for my physical health and feeling better. But I mean, after the first day, I was like, oh yeah, this is why I do it too. Yeah. My mental health for sure.
Yeah, I find it's definitely something that just automatically happens. So it's like, if you do it for that, you might focus too much on the mental health and then be like, it's not working, versus if you just, it's like, no, do it for other reasons, just to be like the healthy, and then mental health wise, it just automatically almost improves.
Absolutely. Because with the mental health part too, I don't see the weight dropping, but I feel better, right? And my clothes feel better. So obviously something's happening, but I feel better. And so that's, when I get on the scale, which I'm trying not to do all the time, but when I get on the scale, I'm like, it hasn't moved. Then I'm like, keep going, because you feel, I have more energy. My brain isn't as foggy on days. My clothes are fitting a bit better, all of that. So, and the eating healthy too. Like I make sure I get, another thing is protein. At my age, you have to really up the protein. So I have found very creative ways to get protein into my world and into my day, and have taught some of my clients that are in perimenopause too. I always frame it with, I'm a psychotherapist, not a personal trainer, not a nutritionist, but this is what I do. So
I love it. I'm okay with that. This one can be a little bit more vulnerable, so you can decide if you want to answer it.
Alrighty.
What is one thing you'd like to improve on either your business, your personal, or professional life? You can kind of pick one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
One thing I want to improve on. I think, my business and professional, I have a plan, obviously. I'm doing all these. I think right now, the one thing I need to improve on, I talk about self-care all the time, but life has been overwhelmingly busy for me this summer. I am getting out like to Red Blacks games and stuff like that. And I do watch my Blue Jays, and Sens season's coming up, so I'll have tickets for that. But I feel like, well, my son said it really well one day. He said, Mom, I feel like I wake up in the morning and then it's 10 o'clock at night. And I feel that way. And I feel like I'm working 24/7 some days. And there's been a lot of changes at the office, therapists going on maternity leave and having to take on some of their clients. One of the therapists on maternity leave is the other trauma specialist. Now I'm getting all the trauma clients and doing the other parts of the business, running the business, seeing my clients. Like I see upwards of 30 clients in 4 days. And then, this stuff and creating workshops and stuff. So I think, I've taken next week off as a work holiday, but I did that in August and I was at the office all day, every day almost. So that's what I need to improve. I need to practice what I preach a little bit right now. And I need to really set some boundaries for myself with work right now, which is difficult as a business owner.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. And with someone who doesn't know the art of half-assing it, even though I just did a video on perfectionism and how we need to half-ass it a little bit more, I'm better than I was, but I get ideas, as you know.
Oh, yeah. I knew. Yeah. I love it though, but yeah.
You and the rest of my staff, as soon as I say I have an idea or something, it's like deer in the headlights. Oh no, what's she going to make us do now? But yeah, that's something I need to honestly improve on.
Yeah.
100%.
That's fair. Good. Let's move on to segment 2.
Okay.
The huddle.
Love this. I love this.
So these are listeners' questions, a little bit more therapy questions versus your own personal life stuff.
Okay.
So our first one is, what are some top tips on grief?
On grief?
Yeah.
Top tips on grief.
That's an Instagram question.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1 tip, feel it. Feel it. We have been taught how to get things in life from a young age. You know, babies cry when they want things. Toddlers tantrum, or they do what toddlers do. If you want good grades, we know what to do. If you're interested in a partner, you know what to do. You know, you want a job, you know what to do. We're never truly taught what to do when we lose something. Mm-hmm. And that's really tough for the person losing and for other people. They don't know what to say. And I often hear, oh my God, like that was the stupidest thing they said to me, right? And I remember when I lost my mom and somebody said something to me and I was like, I saw red. And that person, you know, was trying to be, but the number one thing that people say is, you know, well, they're in a better place and they're better off. And I remember looking at this person and saying, no, being here with her kids and her grandkids, she's better off. She's 62, right? Like it was, and then after I felt bad, but so kind of going off topic, well, not totally, but is to feel it and allow others to feel it, right? You know how I'm very big on validating people, like the toxic positivity, that comes out in grief a lot. To ourselves, I need to be strong. I need to be strong for my kids, for my siblings, for why? Why do we need to be strong? So yeah, number 1 tip, feel it. Allow yourself to feel it. If you do not feel grief, it doesn't go anywhere. You know, everything that we think, feel, everything is embedded in our brains. It stays in our brains. So we're just ignoring it, right? You put a spring in a box. Yeah, it's contained until you open the box. So feel it and allow others to feel it. The other thing that I think is really important about grief is that there is no right or wrong way to grieve. And how often do people put judgments on other people and how they're grieving? Right? Like if somebody loses a spouse and then a year later or something, they're with somebody else and people are saying that's too soon. They didn't wait long enough. And in some cases, like honestly, they don't because they haven't grieved. They're replacing the grief or they're replacing the partner. And I know people say you can never replace it, but you're not feeling it because you're replacing the love or the connection, right? But even siblings will grieve differently because every single relationship is unique. So the relationship I had with my father was different than the relationship that my sister, my 2 brothers had with our father, right? And with our mother, with anybody. So don't tell somebody how to grieve and don't put expectations on yourself. Yeah, it's all unique and timing is unique and how you go about it is unique. Are there adaptive and maladaptive ways of grieving? Absolutely. So we want to look at adaptive ways of grieving. When I say there's no right or wrong way, if you turn to substances to mask it, that's maladaptive. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's maladaptive. That's not going to help you grieve. It's going to mask it. So you might need some therapy to help you through the process. Yeah. Right. And with that, I want to kind of add to that saying that we don't ever get over the loss of someone that's very close to us. We work through it. And how many times do I hear, oh, I just need to get over this? Or I've had clients say, they've been gone for 2 months. You really need to get over it. Okay, first of all, what? 2 months? Or they've been gone for 5 years. You really need to get over it. You don't ever get over somebody that was that important in your life. You work through it. And another tip for grief, I think it goes along with feeling it a little bit. I mean, grief is pretty complex, right? And we have anticipatory grief and we have traumatic grief. We have a lot of these things that like I could do. I will. I'll do a whole podcast on it. I actually had planned to do that because we can't attend, but on September 9th, I'm giving materials and stuff to Cole Funeral Services on McGee Side Road in Carp in our area. And they have nights where people can come. So I'm going to have our brochures, but I'm going to have tips for grief there. And she has different people coming, and then she does it throughout the year. So I'm going to go to one to talk to people. But I told her that we had a conversation. She's actually a friend of mine. So I told her that I would do a podcast on grief. So we're going to do it. Mm-hmm. But what goes with feeling it, and this is just my personal / professional, I'm not really big on the stages of grief. Because I've had clients, I think that we all go through feelings and emotions. Mm-hmm. I feel just from like the way my clients have processed things is that when we say there are stages and we go through, denial and anger and acceptance, and people think that if they don't hit one of those stages, they're not grieving properly. Mm-hmm. And I had a client say to me, but I wasn't angry. And her grandmother was 95 years old. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't matter how old your family member is, you can grieve. But she wasn't angry, right? And so she's actually said to me, I wasn't angry. So does that, should I be? Does that mean I don't love her? No, that's not. So I kind of look at, we go through different emotions. And again, it's unique to the individual. Denial is one of them. I don't know one person who has denied that somebody they love has died. Yeah. They might be in shock. Mm-hmm. It might be like disbelief if it was immediate.
Yeah.
Like an accident or something.
Yeah, they died right away. And they not expected.
Yeah. Unexpected. If it was an unexpected death, you might be angry, you might be in shock, but you don't, and at first, maybe, you're like, no way, that couldn't have happened. But I don't know anyone that says, no, they didn't die.
Yeah, that would be denial. Yeah. Denial. Oh my God.
Denial. Yeah, the denial. And someone could probably say to me, yeah, but that is denial if you're saying, what? No, they're not gone. No, that's shock at the beginning, in my perspective. And people can have their own perspectives, but in my perspective. And I'm talking about grief as in death right now, but grief comes in all different forms and shapes. And, people who retire grief. Because grief is a significant loss or change in a familiar pattern of behavior. So kids move out of the home, there's grief. Mm-hmm. Breakups, there's grief. So this isn't a grief podcast, so I can go more into it, but those would be my 3 main tips. Yeah. I think.
Yeah. Makes sense. We're going on a whole other topic.
We're in the huddle. We're in the huddle.
Exactly. Why do we have to dive into childhood in the therapy?
Oh. Speaking my language. We dive into childhood in therapy because all of the messages that we receive as children form our core belief, our perspectives, our attachments, which then form how we see ourselves, others, and the world, and our relationships, how we relate to other people, the whole gamut. So I know people don't want to dive into childhood, which then makes me say to the client, why not? Because it was so difficult, because it was traumatic, because, that's the very reason why we need to dive into childhood. Some people say, I know I had a crappy childhood, but I'm not a child anymore. No, you're not. And we can make the changes. And I say this to clients all the time because they say, I can't blame my parents for everything. And, yeah, people go through bad things, but you got to get over it. Again, you don't get over things, you move through them. And in order to move through them, my belief is that you need to understand the whys. Mm-hmm. So you need to understand the messages you receive. And it's not about blaming your parents, but they raised you. Mm-hmm. So majority of what, those messages that we receive are from our parents. So it's about understanding that. And if we can understand, even with CBT, right? Let's say a client has anxiety and they say something like, and this has happened, this is probably one of my favorite parts of therapy. A client will say, they'll say something to me and I'll say, oh, remember when you told me that this happened when you were 11? And they're like, oh, right? They now know, it's like a light bulb. They know why they saw it the way they did because of their core belief. That's why we dive into it. They see it and then they're like, okay, so next time it happens, I can say, oh yeah, when I was 11, this happened. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. And I find that like super interesting because what's the next step after noticing that, okay, I did this because my parents said this or did this. Yep. So then that's the reason why I do it now. But it's like, okay, what's that next step? Because it's like, okay, but I don't want to do it anymore. Or I don't want to think that way anymore or whatever it is.
For sure. So that's CBT, what I do. Yeah. There's other approaches. I use cognitive behavior therapy. And so then we challenge it. If it is, I'm trying to think of something that someone might have said to me. I'm going blank. Like if it's a thought that they have that from when they were a kid, I don't want to think it anymore. We'll say something like, okay, are you 11? What's different now than when you were whatever age, the parents, right? And then we'll look at facts. We challenge it. What facts support that thought? It's coming from a message you received from your father. Is that your opinion or is it your father's opinion? Mm-hmm. Opinions are personal beliefs, usually driven by emotion. And facts are concrete, they're evidence-based. So what facts support that thought that you're having? And what facts contradict that thought? Yeah. Or I'll say to them, okay, can you give me 2 facts that prove that's true? And they always laugh because they're always like, well, no. Okay, can you give me 2 facts that prove that it's not true? Right? Well, because A, B, C, and D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when the situation happens again, you're kind of like, hey, I do this because of this, but it's like, but the facts are this.
That's
now.
Right.
Okay.
It also, when you look back and you can say, oh yeah, that's the message I received, it's almost like a weight is lifted off clients' shoulders because it's not just because of them, mm-hmm. right? Like there's a reason. Society today, we need reasons for a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I've had situations where people were very happy that they had a diagnosis.
Yeah.
And then other people saying, why would you want to be diagnosed? Right? Because then there's a reason. I'm not just, clients say, crazy, mm-hmm. right? There's a reason. Yeah. So there's a reason why I think this way. Okay, but let's not continue to think. So let's challenge it and find reasons why you need to think differently or choose to think differently.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Answer your question. School's starting soon, or it's started for French. I don't know. English it starts next week.
Around here it starts on Wednesday. Yeah. Next Wednesday. Or no, this is coming out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It started already, this week.
Yeah. It starts today, technically. It goes up.
Oh yeah, today, Wednesday. Yeah, I was thinking Friday. Yeah. Yeah, school starts today.
Yeah. By the way, if your kid's not in school. So this kind of relates to that.
Okay.
What is something you wish high school teachers knew or would do in class?
Okay. What do I wish that high school teachers would teach in class?
Not teach, knew.
Oh, new.
Like, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. 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 I'm trying to be.
I know.
Because I did work in the education system, right?
That's why that's the question.
Yeah. I had one situation where I guess what I wish they knew was that teenagers are not adults. They're in the process of becoming an adult. And they're stuck in this time warp, so to speak, where they're not an adult, but they're not a kid. And people are saying, grow up. And then they're saying, you're not old enough to understand. And hormones are coming in and their prefrontal cortex isn't developed. It's chaos for a teenage brain. And so often they're talked to like they're an adult, or so. And I'm not taking, being a teacher these days is really difficult. So I'm not taking away from that.
No.
And in my experience, the majority of teachers are very caring and understanding and overwhelmed. And a couple of situations that I had, one in particular, a teacher came to me, this was years ago. So this was probably like 10, 12 years ago. And she said to me, basically, can you let the principal know something? She always wanted me to be the go-to. I'm like, no. But it was kind of like, basically this student came in her classroom, hood up, AirPods in, and sat at the back. And she said to me, yeah, I wanted the principal to kick him out because I told him 3 times to get the AirPods out. And I said, okay, did you ever ask him to? And she said, I shouldn't have to. Okay. Is this normal behavior? Does he always come in like this? No, he's never come in like that. Okay. So if this is new behavior and the hood's up, AirPods are in, and he's ignoring you, and then he stormed out. I wish something that they knew was to, and again, many teachers will do exactly what I'm saying, but is to just quietly go up, even if it's a busy classroom, quietly go up and say, this isn't normal. Are you okay? Do you want to just go and get a drink of water? It turned out this guy's girlfriend broke up with him right before class, right? So, because I went to talk to him and meet with him. And one thing he said to me was, I was already feeling like I was on the verge of tears. And in front of everybody, she was like, I told you to take the AirPods out. And so I was just trying to keep it together, right? So my thing to the teacher was like, wow, he came to class. Right? He pulled it together to come to class. So that's something I think that I think, again, it's not fair for me to say teachers need to know more about mental health, because a teacher is like a mental health worker and an educator, and I get all of that. It's just some of those things, if they can just kind of look at kids individually and not the chaos.
Yeah.
I wish that they knew some of those, that it takes like 2 seconds to change it up and change the outcome. And there's been studies done. I can't remember the name. Elizabeth Warner, maybe? Sorry, that's wrong. Can't think of the name. It was years ago, but she actually followed inner city youth for 40 years. So when they were young, and in their 40s, and just to see the differences in socioeconomic, everything. And what she found was the kids that till they were 40, not 40 years, till they were 40. The kids, when they were 40, the ones that really were thriving, had one positive adult in their life as a teen, And 90% of the time, or don't quote me on that, the majority of the time it was a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So when I worked for education, we talked about risk factors and protective factors. And a teacher can be either, right? A teacher can be a protective factor if they just take those moments and be there for the kid, or they could be a risk factor if they do things like that teacher did to the kid.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's a good example.
There you go.
Yeah.
See?
Awesome.
You can throw questions at me.
I'm kind of, I want to switch it to the other side, just because I think that, and we could, I'll just say it and then you let me know.
Okay.
So let's switch it to what is something that you wish students would know for on the teacher side, like about teachers.
Yeah. Again, this is hard because their brains are underdeveloped. So and teenagers are very egocentric. So it may be hard for them. But what I'd like them to know is that the majority of teachers are doing their best, and that they see your needs and they have 30 other needs. There are a lot of IEPs in classrooms right now, individual education plans, and they're like legal documents. The teachers have to follow them. And I remember my brother, who is a vice principal, when he was a teacher, I think it was a geography class, and I think there was 26, I'll say, students in the class, and there were 19 IEPs, individual education plans. So just understanding that, like I said, the majority of teachers are doing their best. They've got a lot of needs to deal with. And teachers out there, you deal with a lot of mental health issues now. Mental health in young people has increased, and in schools, and less resources. So there's a lot of teachers doing, I used to go into classrooms and teach mental health stuff as part of my role and do programs in classrooms, and they don't have that anymore. So now the teachers are teaching, like grade 7 and 8 teachers are teaching mental health, and they don't have a mental health background. And we have had a few clients come in session and say, oh yeah, my teacher said that this is this now. And we're like, what? No, it's not. Right. And they're doing the best they can. This isn't their education. They were, they majored in geography, not mental health. And so we're now actually have been asked by some schools to go in. So we did presentations. Yeah. So we're going to do more this year too, and to help with that. But again, just to demonstrate how much a teacher has to do nowadays, and for kids to understand that. And teachers aren't just teachers. They're moms and their dads and their wives and their husbands and their grandparents, and they have their own stuff going on too. And some of them that I know of have children with mental health issues. Understand, I guess, in a nutshell, understand your teacher's a human being.
Last one of the huddle.
Okay.
Where do lifestyle changes fit in when it comes to improving mental health?
How do lifestyles changes fit in with mental health? I think that I'm big on self-reflection, and how a lot of people have a lack thereof of self-reflection, but I think that self-reflection is huge. So if you are feeling sluggish, if you are feeling, always talking about your body, weight gained or whatever, incorporate, that's going to impact your mental health. That self-deprecating talk is going to impact your mental health. Reflect on that. What changes can I make? Eat right. No, sorry. Eat healthy. I hate when people say that. Eat right. Eat healthy. Get the nutrients that you need and move more. That's a lifestyle change, right? So if you're not doing it, add it. If you're bored all the time, that's going to impact your mental health. Find something to do. Hobbies, cooking, sports, whatever it happens to be, gardening, crafty stuff, whatever. Make those changes in your life. I think that lifestyle changes A, are self-reflective and geared towards you. B, need to have motivation. Because I can say, I did. When this whole perimenopausal thing with my body, I complained about the changes, and my friends, we'd all get around with a glass of wine complaining while we're eating stuff, talking, right, about the changes in our bodies, until I took that step. And I literally was sitting here in this chair, and I was like thinking about all of it. And I was like, all right, there are changes that you want in your life. Nothing's going to change if you don't make the lifestyle change, right? So that's really what motivated me. And I said to my niece, she came over one night because she lives next door, and it was actually Monday night. And I was like, my brain has completely switched because it was on the weekend. I've been doing this for about 3 weeks, like the change. But then even though I was going downstairs to my gym and working out or doing, it was like, oh. And all of a sudden this week, like I said to her on Monday night, I'm like, I'm actually looking forward to getting up and doing my leg workout tomorrow, right? Like, so I just changed that because I self-reflected, and that impacted my mental health as well because it empowered me. Any lifestyle change any adaptive lifestyle change is going to improve your mental health for many reasons. Because A, it could be your physical health. You are setting a goal and sticking to it. You feel empowered. It helps with clarity. You're not bored. There's so many reasons. All of those impact your mental health.
We're heading on to next. It's the halftime break.
Huddle break. Oh, we went from huddle to halftime.
I am not a football person. I'll watch it, love it, but like
first 2 quarters, we're done. Well, I guess huddle is within the quarters. It's not at the beginning of the game. So, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't make any plays. Okay.
So these are a little bit like random lighthearted questions.
Okay.
So,
halftime.
Yeah. If emotions had colors, what color is your mood today?
Oh. What color is my mood today? So my favorite color is turquoise. That's the colors of our whole office, right? Because that color to me has always represented calm and safety and peace. And I think I'd be turquoise today. I'm feeling pretty good today.
Amazing.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. This one is an important question.
Oh, dear. As she giggles.
This is my favorite question. Thoughts on Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift being engaged?
Oh.
I had to. It's a sports kind of based therapy question.
Yes.
Podcast. Let's see if she's a Swiftie or not.
Yeah, I'm just going to say you're going to have Swifties against me or for me here. I have to be honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for them. I'm not, when I'm watching football, I'm not like a lot of the men in my family or men that I know that are like, oh my God, get her off the screen. That it's not about her. I mean, it's not, but it's also bringing viewers in and money in to the NFL and to the Chiefs and everything. So cool. Yeah. I have nothing against Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I think that they are lovely. I just, I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I do see it it comes up on my social medias all the time. And I do I do follow Jason and Travis's podcast.
Yeah.
I do follow that. And the podcast that she did, I actually giggled a few times because, I caught a lot of the Easter eggs. But listen to me, maybe I am a Swiftie. Yeah. I don't know. My niece Danica is like hardcore Swiftie.
Oh my God.
And so it's around me all the time, but I was sending stuff to her. Honestly, and this might sound harsh or cold, but it doesn't impact my life. I'm happy for them. I think that everybody deserves love, and obviously they're very much in love and they're very happy together. So all the best to them. I think that people get a little bit too overly involved negatively or whatever, like saying that she's ruining football. Come on.
It's tough to say. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, but do you see how many little girls are watching football with their dads now, like, and their family? Like, I mean, there's different opinions on it, but yeah, no, it's just
absolutely. There's different opinions in my orbit all the time, but yeah, honestly, I'm happy for them. I do follow their podcast. I thought the podcast with Taylor was pretty cool, and I see the dynamics between them, and they're very much in love and very happy, and so all the best. She's had some hard relationships too, so I'm glad that she's found somebody.
Yeah, awesome. I had to. I'm sorry.
I know. That's okay. That's all right. That's how I feel. I'm a pretty honest person, so
all right.
Don't like. I don't want negative comments about all of this. Whatever.
It's a pretty good answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is something you've told me before. This is very direct.
Uh-oh.
I can try and switch it, but
No.
Why do you not like Halloween? Because it's August. We're getting close to the Halloween season.
Why don't? Oh yes, I did tell you I hate Halloween. I do. I always have, even since I was a kid. The only thing I like about Halloween right now is when my grandkids come to the door dressed up and ring the doorbell. That's like my favorite thing. I get the camera ready to record. I hate Halloween because growing up, I had social anxiety. Didn't like being center of attention. Had body image issues, the whole bit. And when looking back, what? I was not big, but I did. But I had neighbors that you would go to the door and you never quite knew which neighbors would do it, but it was always the ones next door. My parents made me go there all the time. But they would make me do a trick before they'd give me candy, and I'd have to perform. And looking back now is a little bit creepy when I think about it. But that was like the 70s and early 80s. Well, no, 70s, because I think I was 10 the last time I went out for Halloween. Maybe 11, but I don't think so. Because I did not like it. I did not want to go. I'd rather give candy out. And then as I got older, anytime you'd go to a dance or anything like that, people were dressed up. I think the thing that I hate the most, and my brother still does it, weirdo, my oldest brother, not the one that lives next door, because actually I'll tell you a story, but that's actually kind of funny. When people have a mask on and you don't know who it is, and they just, especially like big guys, and they just stand and hover.
Oh.
Like, does that not go against everything that a woman is like?
Yeah, I would be like, right? I'm not going that way. I'm
right?
go that way.
Yeah. And I always, I literally say, take off your mask or I'll punch you in the face. I have said that because it scares me that bad.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
they just like, I remember one time I was somewhere, I think it was like a teen dance. I think I was 14 and we had to dress up. And I think all my friends were going, or no, I was younger than that, 12 maybe. And somebody just, it was an adult that was working it. And he stood there, and then I went to move around him, and he stood in front of me. And I went to move around him, and I literally said, get out of my way or I'm punching you in the face. Like, I was so scared. And so that's a reason not. My oldest brother still dresses up sometimes, but mostly just to scare the bejesus out of us. And so I remember a few years back, probably might have been like 2022-ish maybe. 2021, I don't know. Anyway, my brother who lives next door, he came over, and I sorry people, but I never give out candy.
I know.
My lights are out too. I can't have people dressed up coming to my door, even kids.
Yeah.
I can't. I would go to my dad's, hand out candy there, and that was my excuse all the time. There I didn't mind so much, maybe because I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would make sense.
Maybe. I was sitting, my brother was sitting in this chair and I was sitting across the room, and we knew our oldest brother would show up somehow, right? And I said to my brother, Steve, I said, so he was sitting here and it was this door behind me. And I said to him, no, he said to me, he's going to show up. Don't flinch. Like, don't give him the satisfaction. Don't. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to. And so we're both sitting there. And then all of a sudden I see this devil face slowly, because I didn't have the screen door. It wasn't screened in then. Slowly coming and peeking his head around. And I was like, oh, Steve, I almost screamed. And I said, I think I peed my pants a little bit. And he was like, don't do anything. Anyway, so then he came in the front door and with his partner, and she was dressed up. And I'm like, I don't find it funny. I don't find this funny. And then apparently he went to my cousin's and came around the back. And when they were walking, they went to go out the back door. He saw them walking towards the back door. And as the devil, he was standing right in front of the door. And my cousin just like, my cousin Guy screamed. His wife, like, they were dropping F-bombs. Even his son, who didn't swear, was dropping F-bombs. So that is why.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I am not a fan.
No. Yeah.
Cute little ones, yes. But no.
So I know Saunders Farm for me. Just the people just standing there. You're just waiting for it. You're waiting for them to yell in your face or whatever.
Yep.
I had a client before, and she told me she likes to be like the actor.
Yeah.
But she says that, like, just so you know, like, they literally cannot touch you. It is a rule that, like, even if they scare you, they and come close to you, like, they can't like put their hand, like, so don't ever feel like they'll, but it's still no.
You'll never find me in a haunted house or anything like that, because I will punch somebody. Yep. And see, that goes back to my childhood.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Digging into my childhood.
Now I'm kind of seeing that
this is fun.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I like this.
But it doesn't make sense. The next segment is the game plan. I think that should be more
at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know. It's okay.
That's all right. We need to regroup and plan the second half.
Thank you. So the next one's a case study, a little bit more.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So get some people to send in their little stories. Okay. So I'm in my 30s and I feel like I've outgrown some of my friends. They drain me. It's always about them, and we don't share the same values anymore. I feel guilty for wanting space, but part of me just wants to cut ties completely. At the same time, I wonder if I'm just being too picky. Thoughts?
Okay, this is actually something I get all the time. Mm-hmm. When we're kids, we need 100 friends, and that's our self-worth. When we're teenagers nowadays, we need millions of friends on social media, and that's our self-worth. In our 20s is kind of like the party years, the college, after all of that. It's very social, and all the people around us, that's our self-worth. As we get older, we enter our 30s, 40s, 50s, but it starts at 30s. Things change. Sometimes, we have kids, we have partners, values change. Your prefrontal cortex is fully developed at 25 and 25 to 27. We no longer want a whole bunch of people around us. We want people that align with our values, our interests, our beliefs. Often that does not include the drama that some people are still entrenched in. Mm-hmm. So I always say to clients, like, as we get older, it's more about the core friends and not the acquaintances. And you want to align. So it's not about being picky or dramatic. It's about aligning with what is going to build you up. Because if you dread going out with these people because of the drama or whatever it happens to be, well, why go out with them? I think as we get older, it's like, it's not about being like selfish or self-centered or egocentric. It's about, what do I want to put my energy into? Especially if you have kids and everything. If you're, you have kids, and I assume this is probably a female just by the sound of it. If you're a mom, your free time is precious. I don't want to go out with all the drama. I want to go out with people that align with me. So absolutely, let go of I've had to do that in my life too. Let go of the friendships that no longer serve you. And that sounds really bad. I don't mean no longer serve you, but serve you that you're aligned to.
Yeah.
That's okay. You will continue as you get older in your 30s. You will probably find new friends that are on hockey teams with your kids or dance or whatever. You start to get new friends. And then, in your 40s, there's different activities or whatever, and you get new friends. And some of the hockey moms and stuff are no longer,
Yeah.
So that's just a rite of passage of life. Don't feel guilty for surrounding yourself with people that build you up and not bring you down.
Yeah. Do you think that you should tell them that, or can you just cut them out?
I think it depends on the friend. I mean, I'm all for honesty and having like conversations. Maybe that person doesn't know that they're behaving that way, right? I think it depends on the situation. If it's somebody really toxic, then no, I would just separate, set some boundaries. If it's somebody that you've been really close to for a long time, and then, you're kind of going this way, and have a conversation. This is how I'm feeling, because maybe that person's going through something, or maybe they're not grown up. I think it depends on the situation and the person. I know people that I could have that conversation with, and they'd be like, oh, damn, yeah, sorry. And I know some people I'd have that conversation with, and they'd be like, yeah, well, you haven't been the best friend, and you haven't done, and so that's truly not aligning. And that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, that's tough too. It's like, often they'll be like, I want you to tell me the truth. And you tell the truth. And then it's like, then you're the bad person. It's like,
absolutely.
That's how I feel.
Exactly. So. If you use I feel words and somebody says, no, that's not true, it's awesome, because you can say, that's how I feel, and you can't tell me how I feel is wrong, because that's the feeling that I'm getting. Right?
Yeah. And on that, can you, especially due to being able to text a lot now, people are more comfortable with that and can actually say the things that they want to say. Do you think it'd be a bad thing to text it? Should it be in person? That doesn't make a difference.
It makes a difference. Yes, texting is the way to go these days. I know like breakups have happened over text. You can formulate what you want to say and not text, right? Like I get clients, I script with clients. We script what if we're having hard conversations, we say it over and over and over. We read it and read it so that the emotion kind of goes. The only reason I say that is I know that texting is the way that most people do things today, but you get your own interpretation in text. You interpret the tone, you interpret the message, usually dependent on how you feel. Those things that I said, the messages and how you perceive things, your core beliefs and everything, that's how you're going to read the text. So I could say to you, text you something that, I mean, we see it all the time, right? They do memes and stuff about it too. Like there was one that I saw and I was laughing out loud because it's so true. And it was like a spoof kind of thing, but it was like the guy said, I'm just going to make things up, but it was like this, I won't be able to go tonight. And no, the guy said, do you want to go out tonight? And then the other guy's like, cool, or something. And the other guy's like, cool. well, if you don't want to go, we don't have to. And then the other one's like, it's up to you. And then like, it's up to me. Well, what do you want to do? It shouldn't be up to me, right? It's like, and that was a conversation that's like, yeah, cool. If you perceived it that way, it'd be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
But no, cool. It's just, and it was different than that, but it was similar to that. And I was laughing out loud sitting here by myself. My cat just looks at me sometimes like, what is wrong with you? I think that those kinds of conversations should be face to face or even phone call, like should be talking. I get it. Social anxiety. Confrontation and conflict is scary, but as I've said in videos before, that's not confrontation, it's a conversation. It becomes a confrontation when the people in it, the conversation, make it that way. So if someone makes it a confrontation, that's why you're doing this, and tapping out, right? So tapping out, see? Sports, wrestling. I don't watch wrestling. I used to with my grandpa. He thought it was real.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. Back in the day. Yeah.
Adorable. Moving on to the next overtime questions.
Overtime. All right.
All right. So these are just quick fire answers.
Okay.
Well, you don't.
I'm not very quick.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not complicated. I promise.
Okay.
Favorite way to decompress after a tough day? Just one.
My favorite way? Eat my dinner, come here. This is what I do every night anyway. Well, it's not that I have tough days, but I have heavy days, right? That's what I do. And I'm a trauma therapist, so I have heavy days. So every night I come home, make my dinner that I've usually prepared, sit here, turn on my TV, and I either watch, if I'm not at a Senators game, I'll watch the Senators, Blue Jays, Buffalo Bills, Red Blacks. I will watch sports. Don't watch any other TV. Literally, do not watch any other TV. That's all I watch. So that's what I do. In the winter or cooler weather, I turn on my fireplace there. My cat lies in front of the fireplace. That's my decompressing time.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes scroll pictures. Babies.
Meditation, yay or nay?
Yay for meditation. I have difficulty with it. Not, do I try it? Yep. I still have difficulty slowing my brain down. I think it's a little bit of an ADHD thing. But also, you know me well enough now, my brain is going 100 miles an hour 24/7. And so I actually just tried it again the other night because I was like, okay, when I was so overwhelmed being so busy, I'm like, okay, Christine. And I tried it. I think that meditation has a lot of great qualities. I think that it's a wonderful thing. I know people that go like right into, I just have difficulty. I'm still practicing, but I think I'm centered. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I need to go. And then,
but isn't that the point though? To bring it back? Like that's what makes it.
Yes,
If you
absolutely.
bring it back.
If you bring it back. So I'm just going to say that. Yeah, if you bring it back. I try to bring it back, but then all of a sudden when I get that one thought, it's like, oh yeah, I have to. And then I grab my phone to add the next thing I have to do because I forgot to put it in because I have to put everything in my phone because I have 100 things to do a day. So yeah. Yay, meditation. Difficult, Christine.
Yeah. Nay for Christine.
Yeah.
Burnout. Inevitable or preventable?
Preventable. Do you want me to say why?
You can go for it.
Preventable. Because I guess a little bit of both. Inevitable if you don't put in boundaries. Preventable if you ensure the boundaries or recognize it. Am I heading towards burnout? It's getting there. Have I slowed it down and figured out ways not to? Yes, preventable.
Amazing. Multitasking, efficient or stressful?
Impossible. The brain actually is not, multitasking is a computer term. The brain does not multitask effectively. Yes, we have multitaskers. I multitask, but do I do it effectively? Right? We try to multitask, but how many things are being dropped? Or if we focus on one thing and get it done, we can move to the next. Computers multitask because they're not humans.
Yes. All right. Well, last one, segment 6, final play, and that's all you.
Okay.
That's your question.
All right.
What's one question you want people to reflect on today, and why should they?
I think that we wear our old narratives kind of like hand-me-downs, right? They're comfortable and they're familiar, but they don't fit anymore. And so my question to all of you out there, what part of your story have you outgrown, but still find yourself repeating? Those are those hand-me-downs, right? We've outgrown it, but we just keep doing it. And then part 2 to that is, I want you to rewrite that part of your story, but in how it aligns for you today. So what I mean by that is, we can't rewrite our history, right? But we keep doing it. We keep repeating it. So how can you rewrite it in a way that it aligns to you today? All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This was so much fun, and I want to do it more often. It is fun, and it gets me thinking about things. I like it. So let's do it again. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and we will see you next week, and take care of you.